morning, everybody. Welcome to another mobile podcast with me, Paul. As Paul's, as you heard me keep over and over and saying, I do try to answer them in email the best I can. If you've sent me an email, I'm doing my best to catch up and answer your questions. But from time to time, I do get some of them that are great questions that are germane to like what I specialize in, and that is teaching you the National Electrical Code when it comes to exam prep. So we have a question that was submitted that says, Paul, what is the best course of action when I'm down to 48 hours before my electrical exam? Great question, because a lot of people get down to the exam time and, they study. There's two courses of action here. One is if you really haven't studied structurally, means got in a program like our fast tracks that kind of walks you through the different units and kind of gives you what I like to call the low-hanging fruit, if you will, of the items that you're liable to see on an exam. Spacing things, layout things, all the basic low-hanging stuff. If you haven't gotten that yet, then it's kind of hard for you to, the 48 hours, you're not going to be able to cram it all in, right? You're either ready or you're not ready. It's kind of one of those old sayings, right? You're either ready or you're not. But if you're in a structured program and you've been studying for a while, like again, we recommend about 90 days if you're in our fast tracks program. If you're just studying through the code or using practice exams, it's probably going to take you a little longer because, again, you don't know where to study, so you're pretty much jumping all over the place. That's what makes our program unique, because it tries to keep you on track, and that's the biggest thing with people is they don't know what to study. So we kind of cover the full spectrum in our program. Incidentally, for those that are doing residential only, our program up to about Unit 11 is really still open game for master's or journeyman exams, but again, geared more towards residential. But again, look, it could be on any exam. It's not designed that way. But once you get Unit 12 up, they're more commercial type of codes. But again, could be on any exam. So I tell people, we don't sell a separate course for residential. It's just study up till about I prefer you to study the whole thing, and really it's better you be over-prepared than under-prepared. But that's kind of where the break-off line is. And rather than break it up into courses and charge you fees for different things, I don't like to do that. We give you the one course, and you choose your course of study, pun intended. But that's a structured plan. If you do that, when you get down to the last 48 hours before you're going to take your electrical exam, this is where you either know it or you don't, right? So I recommend doing practice exam questions. This is why in our program we give you a bunch of them. We give you over 1,000 questions collectively to practice with. Now, we don't mean set the timer on the unit where you got to do 100 questions in 2 hours. I don't believe in that type of training. Even though we might supply some of those to you, I prefer that you do questions individually and time yourself for each individual question. Okay? And try to focus on answering those questions in 2 minutes. Make that be your benchmark. Now, on TikTok and other social medias, you'll have people that really don't have a clue. And they're just talking out their ass. They'll say stuff like, well, all you got to do is know how to look things up in the index. Dude, I've been teaching people for 30-some years. Those people are full of crap. If you're listening, you're full of crap. You cannot walk dry into an exam and just flip through the NEC and think that you're going to have enough time to pass. Now, you might look out and get enough of them right, but you're not prepared right. And if that's your goal, is to just pass the exam, and you don't really want to study and you don't care, come to the comments that people make on social media, they have no pride in their profession, right? They just trying to punch the numbers, right? That's all they're trying to do. Then you might get lucky. But for most of us out there, me included, I have to study, and I have to read things to comprehend it. And it can take me reading things a couple times. A normal person, that's what it's going to take. And so you get down to the last 48 hours. Okay, so let's say from 48 hours down to 24 hours. In that 24-hour period between the 48 and the 24, you're going to be just doing practice questions, and you're not going to be letting them get to you. Okay, if you struggle with one, move on. It's fine. But just don't think that you're going to be able to cram 3 months worth of knowledge in 24 hours. It's just not what it's going to do. Okay, and in that period, you're only going to spend about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours doing practice questions, trying to dissect the practice questions, that type of thing. We're certainly not doing it so that you get frazzled and think, well, I'm not ready, I can't answer this question in 2 minutes. No, just follow the course of action. There's going to be some questions that you just don't answer. And don't get overly hung up on calculations in the last 24 hours between 48 and 24. Okay, because you should have been doing some calculations. In our program, for example, we do single family, multifamily, and non-dwelling. We give you enough calcs that you understand the basic concepts. We can't give you every scenario because, again, you don't know what's going to be on an exam. But the reason our program breaks it down step by step is so that if they ask you any specific question about any specific step, then you'll know how to answer that step. And so that's part of structured learning. Okay, it just is what it is. And it's the right way to learn. And it's taken me years to develop the program, the chevrons, and I was able to find a publication that works within the scope of what we're doing. And then we modify it online to kind of give it this classroom feel. And then, of course, we got Wednesday nights. If you want to join us on Wednesday nights, it's optional if you want to join us and ask questions about your coursework. And then, of course, we have message boards and ways that you can get your questions answered. So you have all these resources to help support you, not just a book with questions and nobody's there to answer the questions, right? So it's a very supportive environment when it comes to exam prep. And that's what we focus on. That's why we consolidated down and we just do exam prep and we do grounding and bonding. That's all we focused on now. We got rid of our residential, commercial. Everybody loved those programs, but I just don't have the time, and I had to consolidate down. So that's what we focus on. So that's what you do from 48 to 24. Now, from the 24 down to the time you take your test, I don't want you doing anything. You're either ready or you're not. You're not going to put into your head anything except for doubt and fear and question your abilities, and that's the last thing we want in the last 24 hours. So if you feel you're not ready, then you didn't study right. Okay, you didn't study right. You're not prepared. So people say, Paul, what is the recommended study period for any exam? Whether you're taking an ICC exam for an electrical inspector, which our program works fine for, or any. So 90 days is what we tell people. Now, our fast tracks programs you have access for a year. Our budget courses you have access for a lifetime. Remember, the budget doesn't have all the perks as the black or the plus, but it's still a good course. Gives you a lot of information, right? But it's not the same, so keep that in mind. The black and the plus are much more advanced. The plus just gives you access to videos. So that's the only difference between the plus and the black, okay? For those that wanted to know. But in that in that 90 days, you're going to really go through all phases of study, whether it's calculations, the ability to interact with us and ask questions and email us and do different things. We have a mobile app that you can even ask questions right on the mobile app. It has a chat now feature. If you have our app, which is free to download, dude, you can even ask questions in the mobile app. It's free. I don't know how many ways that I can give you opportunity to learn the code. I have put together in place so many ways to get help. There's no other educator in the industry that puts you in touch with us like we do. And you can be one of those fanboys all you want, but I want you to be a realist. You hate me or love me, you cannot reach them like you can reach us. Whether it's on the message boards, the chat room, email, Wednesday nights, on the mobile app. Again, we have a chat now feature in the mobile app, instant chat to us. There's just no other educator that gives you this much connection, right? And so to me, that's extremely important because I like to stay connected with my students. And that is important to me, that we stay connected in every way in the process, okay? That is what I like to do, and I will continue to do it that way. It doesn't matter how successful we get. I am connected with students because I care about the students' success. I live vicariously through all of my students' success, right? So at the end of the day, check out our programs. You support our programs, we'll support you. And it's, mutually we're here for you. But in that last 24 hours, folks, remember, if you don't know it, you don't know it. And look, most important thing, look, if you fail, it sucks. I get it. Some people test well. Some people don't test very well. It's okay. The people that talk shit on social media about how they pass this and this, listen, they're on there just banging their chest. That's all they're doing. Don't listen to them. Okay? They've never taught anybody, right? Their state may be different than your state in licensure. Don't listen to them. Stay focused. You can do this. We can help you do this. I am dedicated to you. People call our office. The phone lines go to me unless it's something to do with ordering, and I just happen to not answer the phone. I am engaged with my students. I'm engaged with every part of the company. And we have great things we're doing. Fast Track's Tube is going amazing. The videos. But again, I'm here to help you. Our program's here to help you. We help those who help us. Okay? So we're very loyal to those folks that really use our programs. And again, it's what keeps us in business. It's what pays the bills. So we appreciate you. You have no idea how much we do appreciate you. And that's why I try to be accessible to everybody. Okay? All right. Well, hopefully that answered your question. That last 24 hours, you just need to chill out, relax. You either put in the work or you didn't. The only thing you can do in that last 24 hours is increase your stress. You should be ready, relax, get a good night's sleep, eat a good dinner. Really, you're ready. You got this. Positive thoughts. Positive thoughts. You're going to go in there and you're going to nail this. And in the off chance that you don't, relax. I'm here. Try to remember as much as you can. Go into our chat rooms. Come to our Wednesday nights if you're a member. And, by the way, you can get access to Wednesday nights if you're also a Fast Track's Tube subscriber. So most people didn't know that. But you can if you want to join us. Again, it's optional. But at any rate, it's okay. You will get it. Just relax. Some of the best electricians I've ever known have had to take the exam multiple times. Don't worry. It's like a doctor. It's like a lawyer. Nobody cares how many times they took the bar exam. Nobody cares how many times they had to go to finally get that license, that MD, that title. They don't care whether they were last in their class or first in their class. You don't ask a surgeon that. They are what they are. And you can achieve it too. All right? I believe in you. So, till next time, folks, stay safe. God bless. And again, that's my recommendations for the last 48 hours. Take care.